remember in primary they used to put us in these things of like A, B, C, D, E. So I remember when I had just gone to the school it was Kampala Parents School. I went there like in P4. So they first put me in E, which was like the worst stream. And then after the first exams, they put me in A. Then I struggled to stay in A. Like around P6, one time I ended up in B. I got over 6 aggregates, but A was only like for 4 and 5. So I went to B. That was the worst term of my life. Because somehow, you didn't even have friends in B. Like A people talk to A people. B people talk to B. Like you don't even have friends across streams. So, because you're struggling on the standard of someone else, you're going to suffer deeply, emotionally, spiritually, but even some people struggle physically. That's why people go for cosmetic surgery, get BBLs and whatnot, because now they feel like there's a certain standard or someone that they compare themselves to. So what I learned over time is to have a standard that I set for myself, okay? What is God's best for me? His best for me is to keep healthy. His best for me is to work on, my skin, keep my body healthy, dress well. That's God's best for me. I can't be like, there's this person, they are my role model when it comes to dressing. Because we feel like, I want to dress like a certain person. But that person's body is not your body. So when you have that car comparison of so and so drives, I must also drive. You're going to get a car at the wrong time. That wasn't even in God's timing. A curse. Okay? Even when it comes to relationships, some of us are pressured into marriage because my entire circle is married, whatnot. Then you're settling for less than God's best, but because you are working on a human standard. So personally, I just believe in bettering myself according to what is God's best for me. Yeah.
I think I'll add on from what Joy has said. There is something I also learned over time, that we have what we call an identity crisis, So it's like many of us, especially, I don't know whether these things are so much in men, but it's like they are so much in women, because they have not identified themselves in society, It doesn't matter whether you're in school, whether you're at work, or in any society that you're in, you need to define yourself as a person. So every time you don't define yourself, every time you don't identify who you are, that's why we've been in spaces and then they ask you, who are you? And you can't say nothing. When Genesis talks about herself, then you pick things and start putting things together, because for you do not know yourself as a person. When they ask you what do you like and what don't you like, it's hard for you to express what you like and what you don't like. So I feel like the problem is that identity crisis. And if she's talked about that, even that's why some people go in for cosmetic surgeries, do this and that. It's because they lack knowing who they are as on a personal basis. I even don't care whether you're in a family of how many people. You are different people. I don't even care whether you're sleeping with maybe Genesis on the same bed as your sister. You're different, she's different. So every time I think if we need to understand that ndi wanjawulo, ne kusomero nja kuba wanjawulo, ne kulimu nja kuba wanjawulo. If I'm a slow person, sigenda kuba mwangu nga Genesis bwali. If I'm a dark-skinned person, sigenda kuba mweru nga. Like if we get to know those basic things and be content, Masa Gambia the upgrade, like that higher kind of compulsion is good, because of course it can motivate you, but many of us, it will motivate us to the extreme that has never been good. And that you'll see yourself falling into the other side of getting things, and you'll not get them in the right timing. So if you identify yourself, if you get to know, there is what we call the seasons. If you read the Bible in Ecclesiastes, is it 12:3 there? The Bible talks about season, that there is a time for each and everything. And I feel like one time I was judging my mom, and she was telling me they were from a wedding last week. Nemugamba banyaba bakola embaga nga tuzabana ku masomero jokingly nangamba gwe bakugambye obulambu obutambulanga n'obwabalala like gozabana ku basomero bwabali bul stopping embula kuboza ekyo kikulaga nti there are things are different for each one of us eno bajja kuba baziika eno nga basanyuka eno bajja kuba like onafa onazala, like always things are different. So there is one time we were talking here, and I remember I made a statement and I said kuba nange kyambaako otunuulira. I'll give an example of Abigail. Otunuulira Abigail, you want to have twins like her, you want to have this kind of life like she has, but you're forgetting that Abigail temuli mu season ezimu. Let's compare to men. You've seen a man of 40 years, 50 years, aina buli kimu. Kati nawe olowooza nti olina okuba n'ebyo, but you're forgetting nti even there is a range mu myaka. Emyaka gy'amaze ng'akolerera ebyo ebintu tonagiweza. The kind of experience. We sometimes beef people abali mu positions ennene naye ng'oyo omuntu emyaka gy'ayiseemu, the experiences, and sometimes they don't give them jobs because they know so much. But they have gone through stuff. Gojja kuva eno n'omuliro olowooza omanyi nnyo okumusinga, but I don't care how much you know, but you've not moved not even a half of the journey that person has moved. So the most important thing is identifying you and be content.
I think to add on being content, we are still looking at how we can handle social comparison, because it definitely happens. It will happen to you in one way or another. Sometimes it will happen subconsciously, because we are human, and I think that is the first step to it. You accepting that in every space you walk in, there will always be people that are better than you.
That is true.
I learned that when I was in, I think, senior 5, senior 4, senior 5. I think I talked about this story when I was one time on air. I learned that, and that is a lesson that I picked up in the hardest way, and I have carried that. I always tell Gift that every space I walk in, I know there will be people that are better than me, but that does not change the fact that I'm good.
Yes, that's true.
So for every space I walk in, one, I allow myself to notice people that are better, and I also allow myself to appreciate them. When I do that, if they are better in angles of maybe my career, then I know that, okay, there's this thing that they do, how can I do to learn that? So I focus on learning what they do. Gift here is really calm. Sometimes my temper can flow over. So I noticed how for her, people can annoy her and she remains collected. I didn't know, I am not good at that. I am telling you, I am out flying.
You are like twins.
I am I will be flying, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to insult you, but I am going to put you in your space nicely, and that is who I am. But also I know that that part of me has landed me in not so good spaces very many times. So I learn. I always watch how she manages. So every time someone is pushing me into that extreme, I first take a deep breath, and I'm like, okay, Namale, tujakola tuchwana. Echo njacho genda mu luso in my head. What should we do here? I will take a deep breath, because if I answer you immediately, even if I'm right, still it will not come out well. So I take a deep breath and I be like, okay, let me give myself like 10 minutes. If 10 minutes I'm still feeling the way I'm feeling right now, then I'm going to handle it. If in 10 minutes probably I'll have suppressed a stable place that I can discuss it with this, and it has really, really, really helped me, because I'm a very straightforward person. You're not good at that. I'm the type that is going to tell you you're not good at that. But sometimes I'm right, but that doesn't change the fact that how I say it might not come out really nicely. So I look at people and I notice, okay, how should I handle this? If this person is doing this thing, then it is so wrong, and it is not going to help them grow. But if I just tell them that naye gwe biraki tobireka ebyo si bintu byogenda ononye byosobola okukola, because the genesis of me is capable of telling it to you that way, but I realize that's not how it works. That's not being kind. That someone, even if you're right, you will just never be right if that is how you handle situations. So I approach it in a more different way of, okay, if I feel like I don't have the capacity, I'll probably pass to someone else, and I tell them I noticed this and thing. Maybe if you talk to them, you know, it's going to help. Every space you walk in, appreciate that there will be people that are better than you. Appreciate people that have characters that you need to learn, because you're also a human, and as you have very not good traits about you. So for every space you walk in, it's a good thing that you learn. It's another way for you to be able to handle social comparisons, because they will come, whether you want it whether you're a young girl, era kati ladies that have children, dealing with young girls, these adolescents, you talked about adolescents, because now we have social media.
The pressure is real.
Yes. When we're incorporating at we are Valentine, because you're like, in case my flower doesn't come, I have a flower, I have a backup flower.
Yeah.
We're well and good. Because everybody, like, you know, those offices, like, there are desks everywhere.
Yes.
So you're in a big office with like 30 desks. Every 20 minutes, someone's flower is arriving. Every 20 minutes, people will look at you and be like, you who is always saying, my man, my man.
Is a stone.
I know.
Manya, I was at Yale.
And actually, women still do it actually up to today. But
When the flower comes, you're like, oh my God, he even sent me another one.
Naye nakugamba naye lwaki towuliriza namugamba nti olumu ebimuli bino kale tumale gabyeweerezanga, but I think for whatever way that you feel like you're going to be able to handle a situation and keep yourself in check.
True.
Do it. What's wrong with you buying yourself flowers on Valentine's
Show
Day?
yourself that love.
Show yourself love.
I know. None of us actually, none of us would admit I bought the flower.
I bought my flowers to celebrate
Thank
myself.
you. I would have to.
Well, last year on Valentine's, I did buy myself flowers. Actually, I had bought the flowers before the Valentine's Day, but this person took long to deliver them. Ate natandika omanyi how business owners in Uganda work. Oyinza okulowooza business z'abajjajja baabwe. They just be handling the businesses anyhow the way they want. And she comfortably told nenze nalekedde okukola ate nkya Sunday oba mbikuweereze ku Monday. Anyway, whenever you get the time, you can send them. So she happened to send them on Valentine's Day. And guess what? I was at home. I didn't work that day. I was sitting at home in my house. So the flowers came to my gate. So whoever was in the compound out there, noticing that I'm picking flowers, what? I'm a beautiful girl. I can't receive flowers.
By the way, I bought these flowers.
By
the way, I bought
yeah, but I cannot explain it to you. So now that's where the social media comes in. You're looking at people, you have no idea whether they bought the flowers themselves. Yeah. You're social media, social media influencers. They have to need the content. Valentine's content, birthday content, attend because the family dinner content. They will create things. Yes. And you are pushing your boyfriend, who meanwhile, you know so well, has never believed in Valentine's. But
he should believe in it.
But let us imagine the man you have is that rigid. He's the one you
believe in it. And because let me tell you one thing. By the way, Valentine's is not a do or die. Like if you didn't get anything for it or your partner didn't believe in it, it's not like a cause for alarm. Like,
yes.
However, that partner needs to know from today until the next 14th February that it is important. Like I don't get how it is so hard for you. Like what you're going to do is not going to kill people in Palestine. No. Like it's something so simple. Like even if you don't want to do it, just do it for your partner.
Thank you, because you
just
have a partner.
do it.
Okay.
So they should know from now. They have roughly 12 months. Okay, 11 months and 30 and 29 days.
They have enough time
to know the concept.
Thank you.
So they should do it.
Yes.
They should do it.
I was telling Gift last time that if I date you and you've never bought me flowers, we don't have a relationship. How do you not buy me flowers? Because I mean, no, there are small things that if you cannot adjust to, as simple as flowers.
Especially if it's something you know that I love. If it's not something that I've mentioned before,
bagenda tuwa ebimuli so buli aliyogaira ebimuli bya Genesis nkwegayiridde bire mutako bimuli. We're just going to go into a very quick short break, but we shall come back.
Bethany TV for health. Showing on Bethany TV. Fertilization is never complete until the two haploid nuclei come together, combine their chromosomes into a single diploid nucleus. When the two chromosomes meet, they form a tiny living being that is a zygote that entirely depends on its provider for survival, and that is the mother.
Yes, I've been to the theater 5 times, and all of them have been different.
Welcome to this exciting, informative, and mind-blowing show, The Journey to Motherhood, with Teacher Zita every Saturday, 9 p.m., only on Bethany TV for health. Showing on Bethany TV. Showing on Bethany TV. The intriguing story of surrogacy continues. The question of genes from the surrogate to the baby. Can the baby have health complications if the surrogate is diabetic or hypertensive? Who does surrogacy? Does one have to be single? Do surrogates breastfeed? On Medical Minds this Sunday at 8 p.m. with Dr. Andabati. Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health.
You're so much welcome on the show. This is Arise Woman, and we're looking at social compulsion, and we want also to look at the self-esteem and also self-image, or your self-body. But the fact that we have our Joy with us in the studio, I was going to say the appropriator, the director, the CEO. The everything of love happens. I feel like, I know we're not married, but we have people that are married and that are watching the show. And before we leave this particular topic, Genesis, I feel like I want her to give us some insights, because by this year I'm getting married, so I need that insights. So, I want to talk about the compulsion that happens in marriages, yeah? Of course, maybe first if we're single, it can be a bit different, yeah? But this compulsion that comes in marriages, like I have my marriage and I'm comparing it with Mercy's, and talk about it, and how has it impacted the marriages, and how can someone really work on that if they are in that kind of state?
First of all, God is a very wonderful designer. He sort of made everybody fit with the people that they are with. I don't know how he does it. I think he just attracts certain people to be attracted to certain people. I was having this discussion recently with someone, and we were talking about especially sexual compatibility. Like, how is it that people will compare and say this particular race or this particular tribe maybe are sexually like this, but somehow they have people for them. Like, God somehow makes sure that he puts people in a certain way that they're compatible sexually, physically, emotionally, and whatnot. So, of course, comparison of marriages does happen. You can go to someone's house. You've been very comfortable living your best life. Like, you put the plate there, husband eats when he wants, what? You guys can even eat coffee from the bedroom, and you're very comfortable with it. He's okay with it, you're also okay with it. Then you go to her home, and this baby's overdoing. She's doing the most. She brings the food. She serves it. Puts on the dining. Then she comes, serves the real plate. Puts there. Then when the guy is coughing, she runs, gets water, puts. Then you start feeling like, oh, my husband is seeing things. Let him not be seeing things and expecting.
She makes breakfast every morning. She wakes
and it's not like what you're doing is actually even bad in itself. But you and your partner are comfortable doing your things the way you're doing them. You'll find another couple, and maybe They are go-getters, yeah? The husband is maybe a businessman, the woman is a career woman. Then for you looking at your man, and maybe your man is akola byayagala. Ensi yagivaako. You know how Mama Janet told us abasajja tubaleke bakole bye baagala. Nga for you really left him akole byayagala. And then you sometimes be like, how is it that other people are progressing? Yes. But in my own marriage, we're not financially progressing. So sometimes those comparisons will crop in based on the people that you hang out with, the people you relate with, the people you see. Those comparisons will crop in. However, you get back to the drawing board and remind yourself, okay? Number one, I like doing marriage appraisals. It's a great thing to do. I think all couples should. Like, you know how every week you're sorting out your outfits for the week just so you don't panic during the week? You do marriage appraisals. Sunday evening, Saturday evening, whatever. Whatever day you feel like is the start of your week. Because some people's start of the week is on Wednesday.
Thank you.
So whichever day the start of your week is, have a date. Purpose to have a date. Your date might not be outside, or it might be in your bedroom. Like Omanyi, now, today is appraisal day. Is there anything this week that I've done that has upset you? Is there anything I've done this week that I've done right and you're proud of me? Is there anything I should change? So when you're doing those appraisals, they're going to help you remember. Every time you get into the trap of comparison, you remember who you're with.
True.
You're like, but I know my person. He might not be hardworking, quote unquote, but he's helpful with the children. Because there's another couple out there where both of them is lacking. Takola n'abaana tabayamba.
Okutuka weka.
Naye gwe Mase wasasudde wives edition eya gundi.
You're getting married.
Yeah, so to avoid the trap of comparison, we always get back to the drawing board. The person that you ended up with, why did you end up with them? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Because when you visit them at their homes, you will not know their problems. The woman might be serving like that. Nenga customer visitor bagenda muisamu empi non-stop. And then the minute you know the truth, you're like, but thank God for my husband, he has never beaten me. So the grass is not greener on the other side. Always have that at the back of your mind. No single marriage is devoid of challenges. And whatever challenges the couple that you admire might be going through, might be the ones you'll never ever be able to deal with in your own marriage. Yeah.
Married people should, pay. And go for the marriage edition. No, seriously speaking, you know, there's one thing I've learned, I've noticed about people that I've seen in successful marriages, that there are certain things that they uphold in their marriages. And I also feel like being with each other, nga marrieds, it's easy for you to know that, okay, there are certain things I'm going through, but maybe I'm overly pinpointing my partner. Nabali bakolachi, nabali babirina, you know, it happens in their marriages. So I ain't married, but you should. Some things are really good to do. When I get married, I'll let you know.
We shall know. Before you get married, we shall know. Does the Bible not say he who finds a wife? So you will already, we shall see your wife movements. They are starting to look wifely.
To look to the
yeah, you're starting to make more friends with married people. We shall know.
So,
anyway, we are still
on so I think on that note, we had a lot of topics to really break down, but I think time might not even be enough. But we want, I think some of the reasons that's why we do a lot of compulsions and competition, it's because we lack esteem. Yeah, we lack esteem, and some of us, maybe we have the esteem, but at one point we lose it. Does it happen?
Yeah.
It does. So we want to see how can one boost their esteem, whether in marriage or not in marriage, whether at work or in school, in whichever kind of field or aspect of their lives they are in. Mas, how do you boost your esteem and confidence?
Well, like I've always told you, I love myself. And that is one of the ways I really boost my esteem, because I love and I appreciate myself. And when you get to appreciate yourself and love yourself, then even when you're before other people, you know, you'll still stand out. Because where you're galanga gwe, it doesn't matter what the people around you are saying, bw'oba weeyagala nga gwe nti I love myself, masi I love myself with this weight, okay? Appreciate myself with this weight, then my esteem will be more sky. So that is how I boost my esteem. I just love myself.
Thank you so much.
In loving yourself being another thing, I don't even know how this can, how other people will connect with this, but I think one of the ways that I manage to boost my esteem is creating boundaries. When I learned to create boundaries, and I also learned that the boundaries that I create are not for other people, that the boundaries are for me. Nti boundaries they are not to keep away gift, or they are not to keep away joy. Nti these boundaries are for me. They should limit me. They should tell me what they should be able to define who I am. They should be able to help me explain my capabilities and incapabilities. And that when I circled myself in my boundaries and I grew strong on them, sizikiriza nti era wenkulaba nga olina force nyingi oyinza ozimenya ntegera nti we might not connect in many ways. That really helped me boost my self-esteem. It really, and I remind myself every time, and I break them meanwhile and rebuild them, because I learned that as I grow up, I'm also learning more about myself. There are certain things that I am like, okay, now that I've grown to this level of this age, kati waliyo byendino kukola ki okubeera nga ndimo accommodative too, nti ate kati waliyo byendino kubanga sikyasobola kubi accommodating yadde kati eje myaka nkoze ki njibuseeko, nti waliyo emikwano gye nali nsobola okwa accommodating naye kati sikyasobola. I am way past that age, and that should not be able. This thing I used to do, this habit that I really like, but I think now I've grown to a particular age when this habit here is not building me at all. It is high time that I what? That I scrap it up and build up something new that is going to help me become a better version of myself. That has really helped me build my self-esteem greatly. And I don't know if how you work on building your boundaries as a person who is watching Bethany TV, but try it. And one of the things that when I was writing a resolutions zange, zali munze nga wenso bichi byandino kola to become a better version of myself this year. There is this thing I was doing last year, which I might not mention, but I realized that, and I kept on telling myself that this is a character that as I get into 2024 should be stopped. And I remind myself over and over again that Genesis, if we're going to move to another level, if you are saying you want to be this person and be this person that you want to build, then this thing has to go away. So I built all the resolutions for my new year basing on how I can be more valuable and have more on the table as Genesis. So it could help you as well, you who is watching, or watch our boundaries. Tandikira kao.
When it comes to self-esteem, I believe, first and foremost, even before self-esteem, I believe in this world, nobody owes you anything. No. Not your parents, not your spouse, not your children. We have a certain toxic, demonic entitlement. And I think that entitlement sort of crept in the 90s. It's not common. It is for millennials and the Gen Zs, yes. We have a certain entitlement that honestly I believe comes from the devil. Because when you think that your love, your self-love is dependent on how other people view you or what they think about you, then it ceases to just be something ordinary. It is toxic. So for me, when it comes to self-esteem, these are my simple beliefs. First and foremost, you know that St. Francis prayer we used to pray in primary? Lord, help me to change the things that I can change. Help me to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Is there are things that we can honestly change. If someone says maybe, you're too fiery, like you're like any small thing you react so easily, that's something I can change.
Yes.
But if you tell me your voice is too loud, I might not be able to change it. Recording park. Some of us our voices, even when we calm down and we're talking calmly like this, they're still shooting.
Yes.
If you tell me, by the way, Joy, your skin looks a bit unhealthy, like you need to drink more water and whatnot.
Your skin looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does.
But naturally, you know that I have a dry skin, like the skin that you scratch and it becomes Because I've worked on it. So if someone tells you your skin is unhealthy and it's something you can change, go and change it. I hated my smile for the longest time. I went and got braces. It's something I can change. But there are things that I cannot change, okay?
So what if I want to go and probably I feel like this bam bam is not working?
I was going to come to there. There are things that you would want to change, but they're detrimental to your health. For instance, your skin color. For instance, certain parts of your body. Things might not turn out right. It's like the same way, we talk about, let's say, like sex in marriages, and we talk about things like, people ask those questions. Is this okay to do, or is it not okay? And we usually give them a blanket answer. Anything that the Bible did not specify as wrong, like adultery, fornication, and what, in the marriage bed, it is undefiled. But there are certain things, where this is dangerous to your health. This is dangerous to your partner. So why are you doing it? So whereas if you feel like your self-esteem will be boosted by changing your skin color, think about the fact that it is detrimental to your health. And of course, God will not be happy with it. Like, he wants you to live a long life. The Bible says that you will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. There is no way you're going to see it when you're sick, suffering, or dead. So you change the things that you can, and the things that you cannot, learn to love yourself there, in it. One of the challenges that I addressed, I think, like from 2 years ago with myself, is my body. I think I hated my body. I always used to look at people who are bigger than me, and you guys, when I see a plus-size person, I'm like, you don't know what God is doing for you.
That's where you want to be.
You don't know what God is doing for you. I'd be those people, I would fear to wear a swimsuit because I see girls and they're like, oh my God, they're so curvy. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I got this new realization that, there are different body types, and every body type has something that looks nice on it.
About it.
I went to Pinterest. I got a whole mood board of what my outfits should look like. Went, contacted a stylist. I started working with a certain brand. And the story is different. Everywhere I go, people are like, you're smart, you're smart, you're smart. And I'm just smart because I'm dressing my body type. I don't have the hourglass figure, but I dress. So there are things that now you can learn to accommodate about yourself, okay? Kwa katika mbuze, olimuola muddugavu, why are you wearing nude lipstick? Because ngoyagala tukugeye.
Nice question.
You get, like, now understand that my skin color is for reds and darks, period. Okay? You don't have nice toenails. Toyambala open. Wear your stilettos in peace, the sharp pointed ones. Never take them off.
There is this Bajitabacha jumpsuit. There's this jumpsuit that these girls put on. That
every time I look like a DSTV remote.
Every time I see girls who are like really shaped wearing those, I'm like, but God, that thing is. Naye wengenda ogula jumpsuits. Nemanyi ezinyumira ziri nzeegomba nemala nengamba, oh, she looks really
and
gorgeous.
We thank God
She's
for
so
them.
beautiful. We thank God. She looks so gorgeous. Nemala nenkola ki? Nenkyesonyiwa. Era there are certain things. This friend of mine who is always saying, Genesis, this dress is going to look good on you. I know my body. I know what is going to look good on you. Bakugeye. Ate mutandika ogamba, Genesis yakulanga mu China. I grew up, I think that is something that I really struggled with, honestly. When it comes to accepting my body, I've laughed so hard I'm actually crying. When it comes to accepting my body, I struggled with that, and meanwhile I was struggling with it and people wouldn't understand. What is wrong? But me, I was putting on sweaters, I couldn't leave t-shirts. I was really uncomfortable with myself. And every girl actually figured out a way. So they were looking for something they could use against me, and I was handing it over to themselves because I was a brilliant girl. But you know
one thing, Genesis, I think I learned it from someone there on Instagram, and they were like, they said something about maybe 3 or 2 years ago. They said, if you have an insecurity, project it by yourself. So when someone comes to try and bully you about it, they can't. If I keep saying, you guys, me I know I'm a slender babe, I know Serena Kabina. Even, nobody's going to come and bully you about it.
Thank you.
But they'll only bully you about it if they know that it's something you're trying to hide.
Or you're cautious about it.
Yeah, or
you
they
know?
really did that to me, and by the time I learned better, which is okay, either way I learned better. Right now I know myself, I know ntika nze waliyo nabyo tasobola kunvuma ogenda tandika kikoyoga era oba oyagala kunnumya koze ngamba tolina magezi ekyo kijja kunnuma ngamba naye nze omuwala asoma nga bwe nsoma ngamba okyanti sirina magezi. That is going to hurt me. But say Genesis Chinese where? Chinese I know. Chinese I know. Chinese, what are you going to do about it? You carry your thing there. You carry it.
Papa, we thank the Lord.
We thank God for your thing. Carry it there. But anyway, yeah, I really liked how Joy put it across that loving yourself is true.
So from what you've said, that maybe if you're dark-skinned babe, why do you wear this kind of lipstick and all that? Do you want me that certain things that we put on our bodies kill our esteem?
Yes, because we're not going to
And actually you're putting them because now like you're not trusting yourself. Right? You're dark and
like she said
you're dark and you're trying to run to be brown. It's like esteem you already a good day, so nafuka brown maybe you get and yet already you're black and beautiful.
I feel like people should just, the way you talked about learning yourself and learning yourself like, oh, you know, this is who you are and you don't have to pick bits from other people. I feel like even us as in our physical bodies, let us learn who we are. Curate a mood board for yourself. Or Manyanti, with my type of forehead, for instance, me I wear glasses and I only buy 2 shapes of glasses. I will not buy any other because the way my head is built, I will look at myself and be like, okay, so I actually have nice eyes. I've been told that a million times. I put lashes, movie tea, so that they accentuate the eyes. You'll not look elsewhere. You just look.
You focus on the eyes.
Yeah.
You know, you make sure that the beautiful parts of yourself are accelerated out there for people to know. It will make you feel good about it. My mom called me sometime and she said, Genius, I think she went to church and someone told her, I think you're not taking very good care of yourself. Why are you looking like that? Why are you allowing yourself to grow old? So she called me immediately. Like, Genius, have I grown old? This lady told me. So I told her, me. So I told her, who is telling you? Your skin is really amazing. You're looking good lately. You've lost good weight. You now eat even more healthy than you always did. So later on, when I went off the phone, I called her back after some time. I thought about it. I told her, you know what, mommy? You see those clothes that you're always keeping in your closet? I want you to wake up every day and put those clothes on. It is going to help you feel much better about yourself. You know, that person told you that
Mothers like wearing skirt is tassel. It's not long, it's not short, but also it's not big and not too small.
I do put them on. No, I want those ones that you literally
Keep for functions.
I want you to wake up and put them on. My mom has aged really beautifully. Like she has a very nice shape. She has a glowing skin. I told her, just do that. Put those clothes on every day and smile more. You're going to see that you're going to feel even much better. Akulaga abali mu myaka gyo ku kyalo ebafaanana alyokaddemu okugamba mbu oli mukadde
naye ali insecure kyobulaba just trying to console themselves so akugamba okaddiye just because even her
she has grown old. Ate nga jjukira akugamba
people hurt others.
Thank you. That's it. I told her, don't even, just put on your clothes and show them.
Put on your clothes and show them. So I'm thinking now when love happens,
yeah,
of course I want to put Mercy in the mood, and of course every single woman that is out there. And I know I think this is the second time we've had Joy here, but she has a lot of wisdom, and you cannot sometimes so I feel like people that are in her circles, they are so much blessed with that kind of wisdom. And the Bible usually says that bad company corrupts character. And all that. So Joy ayinza kutaba mukwano goba, maybe she's following you on Instagram, and leave alone even social media, I mean now in real life. But you can also tap into the wisdom that she has by, going into this event. Ogende akusomese Oige, yeah. So Joy is having an event that is happening. Is it on the 24th?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm requesting to talk about the event and also the numbers that people can call to find more, to get more information on the event, and what are some of the things they should really expect.
So when Love Happens, the Wives Edition, there are 2 editions. There's always like a singles edition and the Wives Edition. Now the Wives Edition, personally, I'm so passionate about wives because when creation happened, wives were given relationships as their docket, whereas men were given work. So many times we are looking to, this man is not doing what he should do. But remember, it's not his primary assignment.
Yeah.
So most of the times, it is us that need to do the inner work before these people can do their work. And I learned that in 2019. I used to get angry at my husband for many things. We had gotten married in 2018, but we were dating from December 2016. So that whole year of dating, then the first year of marriage, I think I hated that man, for lack of a better word. I was like, how could this guy who was my friend become a different person altogether now that we are married? And so I used to like blurt out everything, Ganyomba anze, Ganyomba. Everybody knows me in the entire neighborhood. And then we shifted neighborhoods when we had our first baby. And then I just got this sharp conviction, like, stop shouting. You know how when a machine is faulty, when your LG fridge is faulty, you're going to go back to the shop where you bought it because they either have mechanics there or they have a warranty. So your husband came from God. Only God knows how to fix him, how to deal with him. So instead of shouting, I started learning how to journal. Also, I had anger issues. And the Bible clearly tells you that anger rests in the bosom of fools. I hate for God to call me a fool. God, the whole God of heaven and earth, to call me a fool. So I said, I'm not going to be angry anymore. So every time I'd be upset about something, I would go and write it down. And every time that I wrote it down, you know what? God always gave me a scripture to back it up. So I had a journal where I would write everything I'm upset about for the day, and I always had scriptures to back it up. So guess what? Whatever I got upset about, I prayed about. Whatever I got upset about, I prayed about. And so when women usually say things like, why must I put in the work? I'm like, if you don't put in the work, no one is. And guess what? You're the one that's going to suffer the most. When that marriage breaks, I'm telling you, that guy will be upset for like 2 days because he's used to the whole comfort and stability. And then once he gets someone to fit in your shoes, life will move on. You're going to cry every day for 15 years. Every time you see him cruising with his new wife like this, Kalom Sajo, after everything I did for him, but you didn't do anything. Because what you need to do is in the place of prayer. So when I started praying for my husband, this is what was interesting. One time I am praying and I'm so upset. He had, gone out with his friends. I had a baby, a real baby of colic, those things. I was so upset. I'm like, I do all the housework in this house. We had no maid. And then I have a baby. And then still, you can't even help. Then I was so upset. And then God told me, like there's someone would sit like near you and then like talk to you. Very loud, clear. He said, the kind of husband that you want, does he want a wife like you? Wow. I was vengeful. I was angry. I had bad words, like, those people who, like, for me, I never had any blessing in my mouth. It was always cursing. You keep telling someone, Gwenozonga, you'll find what you're looking for. Those kind of words like that. I was not appreciative of anything. Like, I looked at myself, and honestly, I wanted a better man, but who was I? If that better man was curated, would he want me? And so I started to change myself intentionally. And so, by the way, the ladies that we have in the community of the Pretty Loved Wives, they were doing a devotion of 100 days. And guess what? That was my journal. It is now a devotional. And every day, out of the group of 1,000 women, about 3, 5, 7 will be like, this is my devotional for today. I don't know how you knew this is what is going on in my home. So it means that almost our marriage problems are usually in a subset, like they are the same, okay? So the reason that we have such events like wife events is that we come to reset. But you're more for the general knowledge that you're going to go back to reapply in your homes. So the theme this year is faith, wealth, and sex. Faith, because I believe, as per Hebrews 11:3, you can change your reality. The Bible says that the men of old framed their worlds by the word. So you can frame your husband. You can write down and say, you see this husband of mine, he must be loving, and I am going to pray him into loving me. He must be caring. He must be, and I will find adjacent scripture to those things and make sure I pray him, I create my reality in him.
I think after I understand you give us the details,
Yeah.
where is the event going to be, that the amount paid, and then the number, and also your social medias if someone wants to book or do something.
Okay, so the event is going to be at Zara Gardens, Muyenga, and it is on the 24th of February. It starts at 2 p.m. We'll have great speakers, we'll have food, we'll have games. Just know it's going to be a real wife outing. The amount to pay is 170,000 for a regular ticket. And if you have like a shop or a business and you'd like to come and sell your products, it's only 300,000. And on all my socials, I go by Pretty Brainy Wife.
The number we can call for bookings?
0778 961334.
Again?
0778 961334.
Thank you so much, Joy. I think if you're out there and you're thinking, I didn't get up and gift on Valentine, or my guy didn't do this, or I didn't do this, you go on that event and be able to understand why it happened like it did happen, and maybe the rest of the years in your marriage, you'll have a pretty good marriage. So this is Arise Woman every single Friday from 8 to 9 p.m. We want to wish you the best of the night and the best of the weekend.